I want to show some examples of solving linear equations as are in the homework. Here's the first example. Say x minus 4 equals minus 8. I want to get x alone on one side. This minus 4 is bothering x. So to get rid of a minus 4, I'm going to go plus 4. If I do plus 4 on one side of the equation, I have to also do plus 4 on the other side of the equation. Those cancel out, bring down the x. Now minus 8 plus 4, I'm a math teacher. I know that's going to come out of minus 4, but you can always use the calculator when you're adding and subtracting with positives and negatives. So to start with that minus 8, remember I need to use this negative number symbol, not the subtraction symbol. To start out with a number negative 8 plus 4. And that gives me a negative 4, and that's the answer to that equation, x equals negative 4. Oh, sometimes they'll put the x on the other side of the equation. Suppose I had 3 equals x plus 7. In this example, it's the plus 7 that's bothering x. So to get rid of a plus 7, I'm going to do minus 7. If I do minus 7 on one side, I have to do minus 7 on the other side. Again, I'm going to do 3 minus 7 on the calculator. Notice the 3 is a positive number. Now I'm subtracting 7. So 3 minus 7, that gives me a minus 4 again. These cancel out. And the answer is x equals minus 4. Not every equation has the solution x equals minus 4. That was just an accident of those examples that I picked. So those were examples where you had to add or subtract on both sides to isolate x. Here's another kind of example. Suppose I had something like this. 4x equals 32. Now this time the 4 is written right next to x with nothing in between. It's called a coefficient. And what the 4 is doing to x is multiplying x. So to get x by itself, because this 4 is multiplying x, I'm going to divide both sides by 4. So I'm dividing by 4 on this side, dividing by 4 on that side. These 4's cancel out. 32 divided by 4, again, use the calculator. 32 divided by 4 gives me an answer of 8. So this equation has the answer x equal to 8. Again, sometimes they might put things on the other side and throw in a negative number. Here's another example. How about 35 equals negative 5 times x? Notice there's nothing in between the 5 and the x, so this negative 5 is a coefficient on x, which means it's multiplying x. So to get rid of it, I'm going to divide both sides by a negative 5. Divide by negative 5. These negative 5's cancel out. 35 divided by, now here I'm going to use the negative number symbol, negative 5. Gives me an answer of negative 7. So x equals negative 7 for that example. Sometimes they'll have x being divided by something. Here's another example. Suppose I had something like this. X divided by 6 equals 4. So this time that 6 is dividing x, and to cancel it out, what I want to do is multiply by 6, which I'm going to do on both sides. So I'm going to multiply this side by 6. I'm going to multiply this side by 6. This 6 cancels out with that 6, leaving just an x. And 4 times 6. 4 times 6 is 24. So the answer to this equation is x equals 24. Now, every equation that we did so far required one step to solve it. Sometimes you have to do 2 steps to solve an equation. I'm going to give an example, a couple of examples like that. So here's an example. It says 3x plus 2 equals 20. So in this example, there's the 3, which is multiplying x, which is the coefficient. And then there's also a 2 that's being added. When there's a coefficient and a number being added or subtracted, first get rid of the number that's being added or subtracted. To get rid of the plus 2, I'm going to go minus 2 on both sides. Bring down the 3x. The plus 2 and minus 2 cancel out. 20 minus 2 is 18. Okay, now the equation isn't done yet because I still have this 3 multiplying x, but I can cancel that off by dividing both sides by 3. These 3's cancel out. 18 divided by 3 is 6. So that equation has an answer of x equals 6. Now, for the last example, sometimes they'll write things in a different order and throw in positives and negatives. So here's another example. It says minus 1 minus 3x equals 17. So this minus 1 is actually being added or subtracted to x, and this minus 3 is the coefficient of x. So the first thing I want to do is get rid of this minus 1 by going plus 1 on both sides. These cancel off. I'm bringing down the minus 3x. 17 plus 1 is 18. 18. And now the negative 3 is a coefficient on x, which I can get rid of by dividing both sides by negative 3. These cancel out. X equals 18 divided by a negative 3 is a negative 6.